Hi, I'm Mayor Mike Savage. Welcome to City Hall. Come on in and see some of the things that nobody ever gets to see.
Hello, welcome to the sub-basement of City Hall. My name is Bruce McNabb, and I'm the author of The Metamorphosis, The Apprenticeship of Houdini. This is the true story of Harry Houdini's summer-long tour of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick in 1896. Houdini landed in Halifax, Nova Scotia on June 15, 1896, and he had 2 weeks to prepare for a show at Halifax's Academy of Music. He was a member of a much larger magic company. On Thursday, June 25th, Harry Houdini left the Carlton House Hotel on Argyle Street and walked down to City Hall. And at the time, City Hall housed the Halifax Police Station. And where we're standing here is the sub-basement of Halifax City Hall. And you can see the footings down here for every cell, every upstairs wall where the old jail used to be. It's an incredibly interesting area here. Houdini introduced himself to Halifax's police chief, a very tall fellow named John O'Sullivan. He was an Irishman, so he had a thick Irish accent. Harry Houdini was a very short Hungarian, 5'5", with a very thick German/Hungarian accent. So it was quite a meeting between the two men. Houdini told Chief O'Sullivan he could escape from any handcuff, leg iron, or other restraint in his collection. And Chief O'Sullivan happily snapped a few pairs of handcuffs on Houdini. And Houdini retired to the chief's office, and sure enough, within a few minutes, he had escaped with the handcuffs all unlocked. The chief had something in store for Houdini that Houdini wasn't expecting. He brought out a pair of old vintage British naval arms and locked them on Houdini. And Houdini had never seen anything like British naval arms in America, and Houdini was in trouble. He went into the chief's office, and he had a tough time. It was a very elaborate double lock system, and Houdini fought with it for about 4 minutes, and he got free, but it certainly wasn't easy. And then Chief O'Sullivan showed him how the key worked, and Houdini wanted another shot at it. He went back in the chief's office, and this time he escaped in 2 minutes. Houdini had one more challenge for the chief of police. He said, "I can escape from any jail cell in your jailhouse." So the men agreed to lock Houdini up. To show that he wasn't hiding any crowbars or lockpicks, he stripped down to a bathing suit. The policemen handcuffed Houdini and put him in a Halifax jail cell, locked the door, and they went back about their business and their daily work. They kind of forgot about Houdini, and a short time later, a phone call came from the Queen Hotel. And the staff at the Queen Hotel said, "We have a magician here who's half naked, and he wants his clothes back." And Harry Houdini had indeed escaped from the police cell, and he had made his way down to the Queen Hotel through the busy streets of Halifax wearing a bathing suit.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, my name is Harry Carrigan and I'm a security officer here at City Hall. I'm going to give you a brief history of City Hall, especially just on the first floor. Most people don't realize that in City Hall, when it was originally built, there was a jail down on the first floor. City Hall was finished in 1890, and that's when the jail cells were installed here. Right now I'm standing in one of the jail cells. Down here I'll point to the door. Down here you can see where the bars have actually been cut off to update the building itself. The cells themselves weren't very big. They were only 4 feet by 7 feet, so there was not much room for a prisoner to stay here. And I'm sure his life was not very comfortable as he spent his time here. And this is the only cell that really have any really showing it was a jail. Up here I'm showing my light up in the window. It goes out to the west end on Argyle Street. You can still see the iron bars up there. What I'm going to point out to you now is where the mesh was across the ceiling so the individual couldn't chop through the brickwork and escape. Now this mesh should be all the way across the ceiling as I indicated.
I was working late one night, and it was between 6 and 6:30 at night, and I was alone, and I thought I heard footsteps, and I listened, and I heard them again, and I thought, I wonder who's out there. So I called out, "Hello, is someone there?" And there was no answer. The footsteps sounded really different. They were hollow sounding and heavy, like someone might be marching. So I got up and went to look to see if someone was there, and I couldn't see anyone. And I thought I saw the back of someone going through the doorway to the counselor's boardroom. So I followed them in, and I followed them around through the kitchen and the counselor's lounge and back out around into the reception, but there was no one there. And then the footsteps stopped. My theory is there was something strange happening that night, and I don't know what it was, but I think there might have been a ghost there.
My name is Keith Rushton. I work here at Halifax City Hall. We are now standing on the roof of Halifax City Hall, one of the places we normally don't come to at City Hall. We actually access it through a spiral staircase that comes up by the clock tower. So this is the clock tower at Halifax City Hall, and you can see the face you can see from here is actually not a working clock face. The hands are at the time of the Halifax explosion, which is 9:05. And the only working face of the clock tower is actually the one that faces Grand Parade. So prior to the Halifax explosion, there were 4 working faces of the clock tower, and they actually did not put another working clock in the tower until the late 1980s. Also, this City Hall was a major aid station. After the Halifax explosion, they actually had set up an aid station down in what is today known as Halifax Hall. This was one of the few buildings in the city that did not suffer extensive damage. The structure itself was sound, and so they were able to operate their aid station from City Hall.
I'm Scott Smith. I'm the project manager of the stone restoration of Halifax City Hall. It's a project that began in 2009, and it's intended to go for 4 phases. We're now in the final phase, which is up Duke Street, and we'll soon join up with the first phase, which was along Argyle Street, and that will be the end of the project, probably in September of this year. It started out as a restoration of the stone facade, but it led to so many other aspects of the building. For example, we had to replace the roof. There were broken windows. There was woodwork up in the dormers that we had to fix. There was work in the moat that we had to do. We had to restore the walls in the moat. We had to waterproof the roof on the stables out on Barrington Street because they were leaking into an electrical vault. We had to restore some of the Barrington Street retaining wall because it was falling in. The project just grew almost exponentially from when we started, and it's been involved and complicated, but just fascinating. So in the process of restoring an old stone building like this, we're faced with a number of conservation decisions, and this represents one of them. This is the original cornerstone on the building from 1888, and our decision was whether to keep the original cornerstone even though it's deteriorated, or to replace it with a new piece of sandstone carved with the same message on it. In this case, we kept the old sandstone cornerstone and protected with a flashing over top of it.
My name's Kevin DeWolf, and I'm a restoration stonemason. Well, this window ahead here is original. It has been repaired, Dutchman repair here, but it's been saved because it's in pretty good shape. Now some of them are a lot worse than that, deteriorated beyond repair, and that's when we renew the whole stone. This is a new one. This was carved on site. This was done on site. Sometimes they're done in the shop. Wherever possible, we try to save as much stone as we can. As you can see here, that piece was saved. That's renewed. Because that's still in good shape. There's no sense replacing that. And we can get in there, we can undermine that, take that out, put a new piece in there and not disturb that at all. But basically this is the original stone here. This here is what we removed. We removed the face off the original, all through here. They've been determined by the architect which ones are coming out. We have a drawing with all the numbers on it. Every stone that gets cut, it's all taken size of. It gets ordered, cut the size, and it comes up here with a number on it. We have a drawing, we go by and we put the stone back in exactly where it was taken size from.
We are presently located in the trophy room, but however, when the City Hall was built, this was the treasurer's office. And in the treasurer's office, just behind me, is a big wall safe. As I indicated, it is the treasurer's office, and he was responsible for collecting all the tax money, license money, and any fines are paid to the police department. Also, in there was stowed the clerks, all the clerks' files, because this was the only fireproof compartment within the building. Here you can see a large dial here. You had to know the combination. Very few people knew the combination at the time. It was probably the treasurer, and I probably would be it. You'll notice that there are actually 2 doors. The outer door, which is pretty heavy duty type. Then you have the inner door, which is also locked, and you have a key, and also the treasurer would have that key under his hands. As you walk in further, you can see the shelves that are in here. All the records were kept in here from the clerk's office. And when I come here the first 2 years, all the handwritten minutes of 1841 were still stowed in the safe. And it's hard to believe, when we did open these up, they were A1 condition. There was no mildew, no must on them whatsoever.